Hey, everybody. Welcome to Module 5. Let that sink in for a minute. Module 5. That means we're closer to the end than the beginning. And the end is really not so far away. For many of you, that's unequivocally good news. However, if you are a bit behind in the class, you should take this as, a gentle note of caution. Time is limited, and it is imperative that you put in the effort now to get caught up, all right? Because if we wait much longer, it's just not going to be possible. Now, our lessons in Mind Edge for this week are, roughly speaking, a general review of all the technical points that are covered in Composition 1. It touches on thesis building, paragraph building, drafting techniques, all the formatting requirements for both APA and MLA. And that's all a bunch of information. However, most of it is just that, presented as reference for you to use as you get going on the draft. All right. So it's help that's there for you if you need it and when you need it. All right. The main thing that you're doing this week is finally getting down to the business of drafting the milestone essay, the thing we've been carefully building up to for an entire month. So I wanted to talk to you about that. So far, you've been thinking about this project by responding to individual prompts about different aspects, defining the argument, defining the audience, defining the goal, and so on. This has been done so that you get your thoughts established, so that you understand where you stand in relation to the project and what you're trying to do. As you begin to draft, you should use this information, but you should also be aware of one important thing. The writing notes and the writing plan are not a point-by-point outline of what your draft should look like, meaning you're not just going to develop big paragraphs in this same pattern. Some parts will transition directly into your draft, like the key points. Some version of these will form the topic sentences in the body paragraphs of your essay. They will then be developed and supported by evidence from your sources and analysis that connects them to your thesis. However, some parts of the notes and plan are there simply to inform you, and they will not be directly represented in the draft at all. So, for instance, we've spent a lot of effort in developing your appreciation of audience, but it would be very strange in an essay for you to stop what you're doing and explain who it is that you're talking to when who it is you're talking to is already reading the thing, presumably. That would be weird. So your thinking about audience in the pre-writing stages is meant to shape how you present the argument and how you emphasize certain points. It's not something that will explicitly transfer wholesale into the draft. All right. So you need to think about what actually needs to go into an essay and what has been done to build foundation for that essay. All right. They're two different things. So moving from plan to draft requires some big shifts because you need to transfer the ideas you've developed into an appropriate writing structure. That means it will have an intro, body paragraphs with your positive arguments, a defined counter argument section, and a formal conclusion. In other words, it's time to make this look like an essay. Now, structure is an essential element in academic writing, whether the paper is formatted in APA or MLA or any other format, and there are, literally speaking, dozens of them. What you should understand is that we write in these structures according to ordering them in a certain way to make it easy for readers to find what they need. So, for instance, we all know that a thesis goes at the end of the introduction. All right, we've been taught that, forever and a day in English classes. You write your introduction, and at the end of it, you put your thesis. All right, that means that we all know that we should pay careful attention when we get to the close of that first paragraph, because that part is important in order to understand what's coming. All right, so we're using structure to find what we need. The same is true for building paragraphs in what we refer to here at SNU as the T structure. And there are notes on that in this, in this module as well. The reader can easily keep track of what's being said by looking for topic sentences, the evidence, and the analysis, and understand the part that each is playing. And I cannot stress this enough. This is for making it easy for your reader to find what they want to find. If you make things easy for your reader by sticking to an expected structure, you will make them a friend. If you resist structuring, this makes your reader work harder to put things together, and this will only antagonize your reader, which is why we want you to follow those structures. All right, that's it. When you're trying to convince people of your argument, it's better to make them friends than not. All right. And basically, what I usually say to people is this: we've all had this experience in a classroom where you've been told to read a chapter and then answer the questions at the end of the chapter. How many of us have had that experience where you get to a question after you've read everything carefully and you go, that wasn't in there? And then you have to go back and reread and reread and reread, try to find this one little detail that is somehow hidden in there. All right. Nobody likes that experience. It's very frustrating. So what you're aimed to do is to make things straightforward, easy, clear for your reader. And you do that by embracing structure, by making sure everything is presented in an orderly way where people can find exactly what they expect to find. All right, that's it. Now, as you're drafting this week, keep in mind, I'm here. All right. If you've got questions, I'm your resource. Let me know. I can help you out before things go too far in a poor direction. All right. If you need to get a hold of me, please do. If not, then we'll see what happens as we move along. All right. Till next time, adios.